In today's episode, I'm going to share with you what are the 4 attributes that as a woman you must develop if you want to live an extraordinary life. So stay tuned and watch. This is Alexandra Villarroel Abrego, and I welcome you to another episode of A.V.A Coaching for You. In today's episode, I'm going to be sharing with you the 4 attributes that as a woman you must develop if you really want to reach your highest potential, if you want to live the life of your dreams. Now, before we get started, as I always do, I invite you to visit my website, alexandravillarroel.com, and subscribe to my email list, because by doing so, I will be sharing with you for free a 4-part video training series that will teach you how to take your personal and professional life to the next level. You don't want to miss out on that. You know, if you like Alexandra TV episodes, believe me, you will love this little gift that I have for you. So go on my website right now. Over the past decade, I've had the great privilege and honor, really, of coaching thousands of women worldwide. Amazing women who really were trying to reach their highest potential and wanted to live the life of their dreams and deserved that, right? And one thing that I've realized over the years is that very often when a woman is unable, to get to the highest level of herself or to live, an extraordinary life, when there's like a blockage or something, it is often because one of these 4 attributes are missing, or should I say she still has to develop these 4 attributes. I like to call these 4 attributes the attributes of the queen. You see, I truly believe that when we come to the world, first we're young girls, then we grow and become young women. Well, we first come as princesses. We are all truly princesses. But then, in order to deserve the right to the throne and to the crown and to become the queens that we are destined to be, well, we need to develop the 4 attributes of the queen. So without any further ado, let's begin with the first attribute. The first attribute of the queen is courage. A queen is always courageous. You see, this is the base to it all. Without this attribute, you cannot have the other ones. And when it comes to courage, the 2 characteristics of this attribute are, first of all, fearlessness. So you have to be fearless, when it comes to having courage. And, I say fearlessness, but at the end of the day, it can be, having fears, but still facing them, still moving forward, still deciding to do whatever, you're afraid of doing. One of my favorite sayings in Latin, and I remember I wanted to have it as a tattoo for a long time, perhaps I'm gonna do it in the next few years. It's nihil timendum est, which means fear nothing. I really believe in that. I think that fear, I always say fear and love are the 2 main energies, and fear, well, it's the lowest energy and it doesn't exist. So you should fear nothing. Fear is just an illusion of the mind. So a queen always has courage, is fearless, but also a queen is always going to persevere. You see, in order to persevere, you got to have courage, persevere even when times get rough, even when it seems like you're never going to make it through. Persevering is so important when it comes to courage. Obviously, in my online program, Queen, we really dive into each and every one of these attributes, and I give you a lot more information, especially how you can truly develop them. And one of the things that I share in my program, and this is on the first lesson really, is I say how each and every one of these 4 attributes, they have an element associated to each of them. And when it comes to courage, it's fire, the element of fire. So think about how you can create, should I say, if I can say it like that, more fire in your life. Also, think about the zodiac signs that are with the element of fire, which is Aries, Sagittarius, and Leo. Think about this. And also, there is a feminine archetype that is associated to each and every one of these attributes. And the one that is associated to courage is the Amazons. So think about, in mythology, the Amazons and how they were and their qualities and characteristics. And if you want to develop your level of courage, well, think about the Amazons, and study them. It's going to be really the best way to develop this attribute. The second attribute of the queen is discipline. You see, a queen is always disciplined. A queen has to be disciplined, in order to rule the throne at the end of the day, in order to rule her queendom, So if you want to become a queen, if you want to live an extraordinary life, well, you need to develop your level of discipline. And I've realized over the years how discipline is so difficult for so many people. Why? Because we live in a time and an era where there's so many distractions all around us. And it's difficult not only for women, but also for men. You know, it's difficult because the two characteristics of discipline are, first of all, focus and then hard work. And if you want to be focused, well, you need to really not pay attention to everything that is happening around you, and especially, you know, with social media and the internet and all the notifications and, you know, messages and all the time, you know, having your phone with you. It's very difficult, but you must develop this characteristic. The second characteristic of discipline, well, it's hard work, you know, so you need to be hard working. And again, a lot of people have a lot of issues with this. And the first step, of course, is to have the courage of being fearless, of persevering. But then after that, you have to have that, of course, discipline, you know, of being focused on one goal and working hard towards achieving it. The element that is associated with discipline, as I teach in my online program, Queen, is the earth. You know, it's being grounded, it's being down to earth. You need to have that if you want to be disciplined. And then when it comes to the feminine archetype of discipline, of the attribute of discipline, well, we have the geishas. You see, if we think about the geishas, I really think that they are the embodiment of discipline. If you take a look at the art, you know, of being a geisha, at the way of living, the lifestyle of geishas, it's all about discipline. Unfortunately, I think that to this day, there's only around 100,000 geishas, real geishas left in the world. It's an art that is being lost with time. And also, unfortunately, I think that there's a lot of misconception when it comes to geishas, because a lot of people think that they were or that they are prostitutes, but it's actually not like that. You see, in the time when geishas were to be, you know, started to become that this art, this way of living started to be created, there were other women who were called the ujus, and they dressed very similar to geishas. However, geishas were there to entertain the minds of men and women, and the ujus were there to entertain the body. So they were the prostitutes, but what happened is that at a certain period in history, they started to really hang around, if I can say it like that, in the same places. So a lot of people started to confuse them, really, and to think that geishas were like ujus and that they were there to entertain the body, but they were not. So if you really want to understand discipline a little more, study the signs of earth, right? And also the geishas. The third attribute of the queen is confidence. A queen is always confident. Confident in who she is, confident in where she's going, confident in what she knows. When a queen walks into a room, you know that she is the queen. You can see it through her presence, which is one of the characteristics, and also by the way she speaks, you know, so she is eloquent. So the two characteristics is presence, you know, having a strong and powerful presence, and also being eloquent. The element that goes with the attribute of confidence is air, the element of air. So once again, study the signs, the astrological signs that are air signs. And then the feminine archetype are the gypsies. You see, I've been studying the gypsies and their way of living for a very long time now. And I can tell you that these women, also of course the men, but right now we're talking about the women, they are very confident, not only in themselves, in their lifestyle, in what they believe, but also confident in life. You know, gypsies, they move around from one place to the other and they just trust the process. So if you want to be more confident, study the gypsies. And then finally, the fourth attribute of the queen. So first, of course, we have courage. A queen has to have courage. That's the base. Then you develop discipline. Then you develop confidence. And now you can finally develop elegance. You see, a queen is always elegant. A queen is not only graceful, she's charismatic, she has good manners, and she has beauty. You know, they say beauty and grace. She is beauty and grace, you know, and that is true. And that's the two characteristics of elegance. Beauty and grace. Now, beauty inside and out, of course, and also grace, you know, when it comes to having good manners, you know, to being charismatic, that's also very important. Again, in my online program, Queen, well, we really dive into, you know, how can you really develop each and every one of these attributes. But one thing that I share in the first lesson, as I said, is first of all, the element. So the element that goes with elegance is water. So water, you know, it's very, very important. Try to study the water signs. And then the feminine archetype that goes with elegance, well, it's the courtesans, you know, the courtesans who mainly were from France, women who mastered the art of being a woman, who mastered the art of beauty, beauty not only on themselves, but also around them, beauty on the inside. They were educated women, and a time where women weren't allowed to have an education. You know, they had money, they had jewelry, they had the best clothes. You know, they were the first feminists of our time, of history, really. So if you want to study really elegance and you want to understand elegance a little more, try to study the courtesans. So once again, the 4 attributes of the queen. If you develop these 4 attributes, you will become the queen that you're destined to be, and therefore rule your own queendom, and therefore, you know, have an extraordinary life. First of all, you need courage. A queen is always courageous. Then you need discipline. Then you need confidence. A queen is always confident, must be confident, you know. And then elegance. A queen is always, always elegant. So that is it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section, which one of these 4 attributes do you need to develop? Which one do you need to work on the most? You know, let me know in the comment section. And also, if you want to take it a step further and you really want to understand each one of these 4 attributes and really understand how you can develop them, of course, you can go in the description down below this video and you will find the link to have more information about our program, our online course, Queen, and you will be able to sign up to that online course. Also, if you like this video, don't forget to like it, don't forget to share it with all of your friends, and of course, to subscribe for new Alexandra TV episodes almost every day here on Alexandra TV. So that is it for today, and I will see you very soon.